Hello and welcome to ZeroPoint. Words are hard. So I fucked that up spectacularly. Welcome to 0 Point Energy, where there's 0 point what we're talking about and just as much energy. I'm Sean.
And this is Jorge.
And despite my constant fuck-ups of the English language, tonight we are talking about actually fun, cutesy kind of anime that we both just watched recently called Saving 80,000 Gold in Another World for My Retirement.
Or, for the more Japanese inclined, Rogo ni no sonotai... Oh, crap. Rogo ni sonaite isekai de 8-man mai... Wait, is that how you say 8-man mai no kinka o tamemasu?
Yeah, close enough.
Fine. Wait, that's probably 80,000. 8-man mai.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a fun little isekai. The main character in this one is not stupidly overpowered. It's she has an interesting ability. She dies, and her prayers and screams to not die, like, they create a psychic bond with God.
A god.
With a god. The god teleports her to another world, but because her mind is technically melded with his partially, she retains one little bit of his power, which is the ability to go from one world to the other.
But she can also do a couple other things.
Well, no, it's anything she can visualize, she can take with her. He later gives her the power when she confronts him about it to understand any language ever.
Yes.
But, like, her main power is that she can transport freely from one world to the other and take anything she's holding or can clearly visualize within a certain radius of her with her.
And our main character's name is Mitsuha Yamano.
Yes, who is a very childlike looking, assumably 20-something. They never actually say how old she is, but every time like someone mentions their age, or like they're 17 or 18 years old, she'd had that mentor note of, oh, they're younger than I am.
Now, keep in mind, this character is not a lolly. Like, not really. Just doesn't have that body. She's flat-chested and such, but I really didn't think she was young. You know what I mean? But well, everybody else does.
Everyone else thinks she's young because she looks younger and smaller of frame in general than the actual child that saves her life early in the show. Colette is her name. Like,
very true. Okay.
The freakishly strong girl.
Freakishly strong, yes, but also she...
Like, they look to be physically the same age. Colette is under the age of 10. And the main character, Mitsuha, is an adult.
Yes, and by adult, we mean adult. Japanese adult, older than 20.
Yes, 20 plus, old enough to buy alcohol.
Yes.
So, yeah. And there are a lot of people who like, oh, she's just a little kid. She's like, I'm older than you, Grandpa.
Now, this is a weird isekai just because we didn't have Truck-kun. Specifically, she fell down off a cliff, and then you can hear screaming like, oh, but it wasn't her voice. It was a male voice. And later on, we find out it was the distress
voice of God.
Yes, exactly.
But her falling off the cliff is almost entirely her own fault.
What do you mean almost entirely?
Well, she kicked the guy in the balls, and the force of her kicking him pushed her backwards off the cliff.
That's why. What do you mean almost entirely? It's entirely her fault.
I mean, it did look like she had reason to be defending herself from what with little glimpse of a momentary flashback. They don't really bring up how she died. It's literally you better fucking pay attention because it's a real quick flash.
Basically, it just looks like fall, new world.
Like, the anime legit starts with her screaming and falling, and then she wakes up in a new world. And then roll credits, and then we go back to, oh, here's a really, really fast flash of, we're going to reverse it from the time she hit the bottom to the time she gets back to the top of the cliff, and then what happened at the top of the cliff, and then fast forward to her falling. Like, they do it all in rapid reverse and rapid forward.
Wait. When was this?
Like, it's literally, and like, when they come back from the opening credits for the first episode, like, before credits, she's falling.
Right.
And then fade to black, and she wakes up in the new world, and like, where the hell am I? And then roll credits, and then after the credits, she's thinking, and then we get the fade to black, rapid reverse of her going up, back to the top of the mountain. They show what happened, like they rewind to just this group standing around, and then they show her kick, and then her falling again. Okay, but that whole thing is done in fast reversed and fast forward. So yeah, like you really gotta be paying attention in that first 5 minutes of the anime, not counting the opening credits. I just felt like making noise. If you're wondering why I'm doing that,
I was wondering. Okay, now. Specifically, she went to the other world, and this is one of the only times I've seen this be realistic. She speaks to Colette, but Colette does not speak Japanese, or she doesn't know Japanese, and she has to try to understand the language little by little. She's stuck in another world, and she's learning, this means this means that. And then Colette is also learning, like the word yeah and such.
Yeah, little by little, of just literally learning from hearing and repetition of, you know, every time they say that word, this thing happens. I bet that word means this.
Yes, not unlike Yamete Kudasai, although I still don't know what that means.
Yamete.
I was kidding. God damn it, I know what it means.
Ara.
Did you just say muda muda?
I said ara ara.
Everybody knows ara ara.
Ara ara.
Stop doing that.
Yamete Kudasai.
I hate you.
Most people do.
Okay, anyways. After they actually study a little bit, they get to know each other, she's living at her house, and you can kind of tell that the mother of Colette kind of sees her like, this one's an idiot, isn't she? I mean, really.
Yeah, no, like, they're not treating her like somebody who is injured and is from a foreign land who doesn't understand them. Like, they treat her like she has a learning disability.
Yeah.
Like, they're coddling her like, oh, she's trying.
Like,
and then suddenly, she can speak the language.
To be fair, she somehow left back to her world. She didn't get it. She grabbed... Oh, wait. We should actually talk about that. They were grabbing stuff. Wolves came, and then they were running, and then she was about to die, Mitsuhai, I mean. And then she somehow goes back to her world, grabs a knife, comes back, and then saves Colette's life.
Well, it's a knife and a pellet gun.
I forgot about the pellet gun.
Yeah, because her brother, like, her parents and her older brother, all three of them died before the event of the opening credits.
Which is just lazy writing.
Yeah. But you get these little flashes of her thinking about her brother, who is a generalist otaku. Like, he knows survivalist stuff. He knows pop culture stuff. He knows manga stuff. He knows anime stuff. He knows technology stuff. Like, if there's something you can be a nerd about, her brother was that type of nerd.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Now, by pellet gun, we don't mean an actual gun. It was like a...
It was an airsoft rifle.
Oh, it was. Oh,
but it was a metal BB one, so it was technically a hunting varmint gun, small game.
So it would have hurt. It wouldn't actually kill.
I mean, it's possible to kill with those because you can over pressurize them, but yeah, mostly they're gonna hurt. It's possible to kill, especially like a wolf or a dog.
That's what I meant. Yeah, because they were fighting against wolves.
Yeah, like it probably wouldn't have been that effective against a person, but yeah, a wolf or so hit him in the right spot.
Now, one specific thing. This girl has no qualms about lying to get what she wants. This anime is really funny in that regard.
They like to make references to like it's her, in their words, it's her cringy past, and I want to say in her past, either in middle school or high school, she was probably in the drama club or something, because she's a really good actress, but she also has a lot of speeches memorized, which is why I'm also thinking, because they're speeches from plays and movies, which is why I'm thinking drama club.
I was thinking more along the lines of Chunibyo.
Possible.
8th grade syndrome.
Yeah. This girl probably definitely went through it, especially with the much later in the show. We'll get there, but the and you can call me the messenger of light.
Lightning.
Lightning, the messenger of lightning. Yes.
No. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
But she even makes a joke of it. Like, I've got 1,000 of these one-liners. I finally have a reason to say them.
She says that a lot. Not the one-liner specifically, but like, holy crap, I can finally say this. Yay!
Yeah, like, she is another form of generalist otaku. It's more like, again, yeah, she's got the 8th grade syndrome, or she had the 8th grade syndrome, where she just got in her own head. So she has this cringy past of, oh, yeah, I used to think I was cooler than I am. And, yeah, now she gets to live that. Like, all that dumb shit that she had going on. Like, in this scenario, I could say this. And she's like, the scenario finally happened. I gotta say the thing. Oh, what the fuck was I going to say?
Kind of reminds me of Archer, where they're like, wait, I had something for this.
Yeah, honestly, this just came out in this year. The English version of it just came out this year. Like, I'm honestly surprised they didn't try to work that reference in. Or it's like, have her digging through her pockets. Hold on. I had something for this. Looking at cue cards, trying to find that right one-liner.
That would have worked really well.
Like, she doesn't have business cards. She's got cue cards with one-liners on them.
Oh, God. Now, after discovering the fact that she can go between worlds, she finds out, like, okay, I can, what's the word? Raid? No, not raid. Drill?
Exploit. She can
That's
exploit the world, because, like, she has some stuff on her from the other world, and it's like, oh, people can pay for this, and it's like, gold. Gold is expensive. So she literally starts doing the math of figuring out how many gold coins would she need to take back to her real world to transfer for cash to make it so she would never have to actually get a job. And she comes out to roughly 80,000
of those gold coins.
Of the gold coins would be equivalent to almost 2 billion yen. So she would never have to work. She would live comfortably forever.
Which is about $20 million, more or less, give or take.
Yeah, but then their weird math kind of, like, this is why in fiction you never use hard numbers. Because she uses a hard number early on. It was like, 1 gold coin should be roughly 100,000 yen. No. Yeah. 100,000 yen?
200,000 yen, I think.
200,000. So that would make it $100,000? Because it's almost 2 to 1 to the yen.
Now? Really?
Close enough it to make no difference. It's been that way for a while.
Like at least 2 years, maybe, since COVID?
Yeah, because like 100 yen shop is like a $10 store.
No,
$100 yen shop is a dollar store.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, it's almost 100 to 1.
I mean, there are still 10 yen shops. Very little, but there are.
So yeah, 200,000 yen, because later on she goes and transports herself to the real world. After she learns she can go anywhere she can clearly visualize, she goes to America to hire some mercenaries. Like that's just a whole fun scenario too. Like, you need some gun-toting folk, go to the U.S., But and they tell her each coin is roughly worth $200.
Yeah, which is weird compared to 200,000 yen.
But
But
$200 would be roughly 200,000 yen because it's a 100-to-1 ratio.
No, it's 20,000 yen. No, wait.
It's like either 100,000 or 200,000, because again, it's roughly close enough as to make no difference of 100-to-1 ratio.
Fine.
100 yen is $1.
True.
So realistically, a pen is a penny, give or take a tenth of a cent.
Something like that. No.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like 1.35 something.
When she gets the ability to understand all language, she literally goes through, what do I need? Need to have a plan. Be able to defend myself. Understand how to use a gun. Buy a gun. Bring it with her. By the way, guns are highly illegal in Japan.
Yes, I mean, it's not impossible to get them, but the paperwork. Oh, the paperwork. And, like, here's the thing. Like, they never actually say what her age is. But according to the wiki for the page, for this anime, the fandom wiki for the page, she's a recent high school graduate. So she's somewhere in the 17 to 19 range. But there's specifically a 17-year-old character where she goes, oh, he's younger than me. So that puts her in the 18 to 20 range.
And that's usually not considered an adult in Japan. I mean, technically it is, but like culturally speaking.
Yeah, because like, yeah, you can join the workforce, but like most people assume she has an office job when they see her leaving in the morning. Like, usually high school graduates, and even especially in Japan, they're not going to office jobs. Usually college graduates are going to office jobs. So, you know, you'd be looking at someone in their mid-20s. And the way she keeps acting with the, yeah, I'm older than you, or I'm not a kid. Like, that, it's not the mindset of a teenager. Granted, she's alone now. She's the youngest of a family of 4. But still.
But I mean, she literally planned everything. What company to go with in terms of protection to learn from. She planned what to bring, where to bring gold from, how to make it appear so that it doesn't look suspicious. She planned everything.
Yeah. She's devious as shit.
Yes, she is. Then from there, she... What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck.
She starts her own store selling literally like 100 yen item store shit. Like, she's selling little lighters and matches and like super cheap, like what we would consider Walmart brand camping gear.
Yeah, that too.
Like it's the good enough stuff that you would buy, but it's obviously on the cheaper end. And then she's got some mid-grade stuff. It's like somebody was shopping at Target. And then she's got 1 or 2 high-end goods of like, yeah, she put some investment into getting that.
Okay. She put like a lot of emphasis on a specific knife in the show. Like, yes, this was folded 1,000 times to give it an impeccable edge. And what do you call it? Like, by Japanese blade makers and shit, sharpened so much. And like,
yeah, there's actually a joke there because it's something I do know with the tiny bit of Japanese, the kanji I can read. It's the TickTock knife.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because this is a very recent show. Like, even in Japan, this came out in 2017. It's that TickTock knife, the Japanese kitchen knife that can do everything and fold it 1,000 times. It's just a basic fucking... It's a Ginsu blade without spending Ginsu money.
I did not get that. Damn.
Yeah, I only remember it because I remember seeing the box all the time because that was one of the dumb ads I would always get on TikTok like 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
So, yeah. They put a little in-joke in for people who are super pop culture literate of, oh yeah, she's selling the fake TickTock Life as a high-end item that she probably paid like 400 or 500 yen for.
Now, one thing. She did get, what do you call it? She did get a loan from a specific, what were they? The Bozis family? Or Bozis colony? Something like that?
They did give her a loan, but they gave her a loan for the synthetic pearl necklace that she gave them.
Which was amazing, astounding, all great quality.
Like, she brings in the synthetic pearl necklace, the shit that we would go to any jewelry store and you'd pay a decent amount for, but it's not legit pearl necklace money. And they're like, these are too perfect. Like, you might get one pearl that's this nice, or two pearls that's this nice. You have an entire fucking necklace of them. It's like, oh, well, we could break it apart. Don't you fucking dare!
I love that.
Like, this is worth so much money. Like, well, would you buy it from me? My family doesn't have that much money, and we're the richest people ever.
Not ever.
Well, not ever, but like in the part of the country they're in, they are the most noble family.
Well, it's because it's their domain.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like in their section, they are like the highest noble. They're the richest people for their section of the country, and it's like, no, we would go into the poorhouse to pay you a fraction of what that's worth. So she just works out a deal. Okay, how about I give this to you, and you just give me whatever it would cost to buy a shop so I can open a shop. That's it. That's all I want for it. So she traded what is the equivalent in this fantasy world of several $1 million worth of pearl necklace for a couple $100,000.
Yeah, basically.
Because she just wanted enough money to buy the building. Oh, and get the business license.
She is devious, but she's also kind of an idiot. I mean,
she's an idiot, but she does everything the legit way. Like,
really, the legit way.
The legit way in the sense of she bought the building, paid the appropriate taxes for it, got the permitting. She got a business license and paid the appropriate taxes for that. All the weapons that she bought, they do show her going through the process of buying the weapons legitimately and taking a safety course in how to properly handle weapons before she even goes to the range to fire one for the first time. Which is awesome to see in an anime that, like, she goes to America so she can get these gun-toting guys to show her how to shoot guns, and the first thing they do before they even let her touch the fucking gun is run through the 4 keys of gun safety. That was amazing. I have not seen that in an anime before. I don't see that in most TV shows, like live action shows.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
So, like, major applause to that, because that's not just in the English version of this anime. It's in both the Japanese version and the English version that they run through the always make sure you know what's behind your target. Don't point it at anything you don't intend to destroy. Assume every weapon is loaded at all times.
Those are the 3 that are always told. The 4th one is the one that's usually never.
Yeah, the 4th one, even I forget the 4th one, because it is, I've got, even the gun safety courses that I've done as someone who shoots recreationally, I forget the 4th key.
Assume everything's loaded. What do you call it? Don't shoot at it. Don't point at anything you're not going to shoot or you don't intend to shoot.
Keep your finger off the trigger. Finger should always be outside the trigger guard. That's actually one of the higher points that you should always know.
Yes. Oh, but also keep in mind what you want to shoot and what's behind it.
Yes, that's always be mindful of your target and what's behind it, because most ammunition, the most common ammunition you can buy, will penetrate it. And they even start her out responsibly. She's a skinny girl. She's just on the smaller side. So instead of, oh, well, she asked for these guns, but we'll give you the guns you want, but specifically ones that have been converted to 9mm instead of higher caliber. So it's less kick, but equal stopper power. Because anyone who says you have to have higher than 9mm for the stopping power doesn't know shit about guns.
I mean, it also depends on what you're doing.
Basic self-defense.
Basic self-defense, yes.
Like your everyday carry basic self-defense pistol, 9mm is more than enough for your basic self-defense.
You're right. I mean, but if you also consider stuff like if you don't want it to have risk of jamming, then you would go with, what is it called? A
revolver.
Thank you, revolver.
Yeah. Well, and they give her a revolver that also has been modified for 9mm, which those do exist. They did it for her to simplify. Now you don't have to carry 5 different types of ammo. She got 3 handguns. They all use the same ammo. She has a semi-automatic pistol that fires in a burst fire. That's a Beretta. She has a standard semi-automatic, like a Glock style pistol.
Right.
And then she has the revolver, which is, again, your standard 6 shots, just backup revolver. And I think that's interesting that they also brought in the thing of, to simplify so you always have ammunition for every gun. They're all chambered in the same caliber. Which is a mistake I think a lot of people make, is they buy so many different guns and they're like, oh, well, ammunition doesn't cost that much. No. One specific type of ammunition doesn't cost that much. The other ammunition might cost triple that per round.
Or more.
Because a good example of that is 9mm versus 45 ACP. Those are 2 very, very common handgun rounds here in the U.S. and the world in general. But for your basic pistols, the guns people carry the most often, 9mm cost between $10 and $20 per box of 50.
Yeah, which is about
and 45 ACP costs between $15 and $35 per box of 50. Current world prices in 2023. So it can be ridiculously expensive for common rounds. Then you got the 357 Sig Sauer and 44 Magnum, 38 Special, 38 plus P. All of these specialty ammos, these are all pistol ammos that people would carry. 40 Smith & Wesson, 40 millimeter, 40 caliber, 380, 308. Because yes, there are rifles that are, there are pistols that are in 308. Fucking ridiculous kick on those, because that's a hunting rifle round.
There's 40 Smith & Wesson.
There's 50
BMG,
50 AE, 50 BMG, 50 Beowulf, 6.5 Creedmoor, 223, 5.56 millimeter, 22 long, 22 short, 22 mag,
22 WMR.
Yeah. Like, these are all just the most common pistol rounds, and they cost anywhere between 5 cents a bullet all the way up to $10 a bullet. And they're all sold in boxes of 50. Like, imagine that. You have a gun that holds 7 rounds, and it costs you $10 per bullet to fire this goddamn gun. But you have to buy your ammunition at a minimum of $500 worth. Yeah. Honestly, that makes me think of a great Chris Rock joke from many, many years ago. Of, we don't need to raise the prices or the taxes on guns. We just charge more for the bullets. We don't need gun control. We need ammunition control. Like, yeah, you can buy a gun for $200, but it should cost you $500 per bullet, so you actually have to think for a second of, is this motherfucker worth $500?
Okay, so the answer to that is no, I'm kidding.
The answer to that is yes, especially if they attend a public school.
No! God damn you, bruh! No! Jesus Christ, bruh.
Okay. I will amend that one. That was inappropriate. The answer is yes, especially if your ammunition is being funded for by the taxpayers of the Metropolitan Police Department.
Better. Okay.
Oh, the answer is always yes if it involves the Catholic Church.
God damn you. Okay, moving on. You know what? Moving on. Now, this woman's power is specifically any smuggler's wet dream. She can bring anything from, I was going to say the real world, from Japan to the isekai world.
Yeah, and it starts with she has to be able to touch it, and she has to be able to clearly visualize it. But as time goes on, you start seeing her gaining more and more control over it, so it starts becoming bigger and bigger things and more. So it's like, oh, as long as it's in a neat pile, she can take it because it's right in front of her. Up until when you get towards the end of the show, she's helping out with a war, and she transports 60 guys, 5 Humvees, 2 anti-air rocket systems, all their gear, plus backup ammo and fuel canisters. And that's all from standing on a podium looking at them. All because they're all within her field of vision. So at least they have not logical progression of her powers, but semi-logical progression of her powers, because it's like 6 or 7 months of time pass. And she sets up her store relatively quickly. That would take forever. She's having to go back and forth and bring the shit one box at a time because she has to hold the box.
But the thing is, she didn't just bring products, she also brought technology. She had photovoltaic cells, she had freaking DVD player, DVDs.
Yeah, that's why it makes sense that she was able to bring entire, what she could see, because she brought already built solar panels to go up on the roof of her store. She didn't grab a box and teleport that in. She had to teleport that as pre-assembled, ready to go, teleport the entire rig onto the roof of her building, and then bolt it down.
And that was literally the only way. People could be looking at what the hell is that? And then the landlord's like, the fuck? No, it's her building. Therefore, nobody needs to say shit.
Yeah, because it's it doesn't matter what I attach to it. I own it. I'm not paying rent. She owns the building.
Her very first customers, 3 young ladies from some noble house, and, they were servants, but they come in, they're like, this store looks weird, and they didn't even know it was there, they were just looking around, and then she's like, don't go, wait, and then she showed them her best-selling product, later on, but still.
It's a shampoo body wash combo.
Yes. Also, modern women usually hate the combo thing. Japanese, they're fine with it.
They still dislike it, but just like in the real world, if you go to the Dollar Tree, you're gonna find the combo bottles.
True.
So, again, she's shopping at the 100 yen store. She's shopping at 7-Eleven and, what's the other convenience? Lawson's. So she's going to convenience stores.
Yeah.
So, that's probably what she's getting. She's not going to higher end boutiques or your regular stores. So you go into convenience stores. You go into cheap places that you can buy in bulk. Or I'm surprised they didn't make the reference, but she's probably ordering a bunch of shit off Amazon.
I was gonna say Costco.
Yeah, for Costco too, but shit where you can buy stuff by the case for cheap.
Now, after the not shower. What would you call it? After the washing of the hair, there was a joke where she's like, "Okay, just put a little bit
They
in."
do full showers. Like she scrubs their skin and everything for them and helps them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was putting on the shampoo, and she's like, "Okay, need more."
Yeah.
And then finally, it foamed.
They're making the joke of, if your hair is exceptionally dirty, shampoo won't lather in your hair the way it's supposed to. So it's like, this is a woman who works in a noble house. Like, she's still not a noble herself, but she works there, so she's clean by their society standards. But like, her hair is so dirty that it takes her 3 tries to get the hair to lather the way it should. But she's like, oh, well, I just had to use it. She even mentioned, I had to use some extra and wash her hair 3 times to get it to work the right way. She was like, did you just call me dirty? No, not at all. Technically, I called you filthy.
No, but how do I say it? Then after that, they get together, they have a meal, which she literally just pops shit out of the cauldron. Yeah, it looked electric, too.
It's absolutely... No, it was propane. She has a cooking stove.
Okay.
But yeah, they're thinking she's a witch because she's using the convenience store sous vide bags. It's pre-cooked meals that you just have to boil. And once you boil in bag, like hamburg, steak, and potatoes.
Wait, to preface that, their world does not really know how to use spices. White people all over.
Well, yeah, but also it's a semi-medieval world, so probably the only place you can get spices is from really fucking far away. So only the richest of the rich use them, and probably only when you're close to a port city.
Okay, very true. I honestly cannot imagine crab without butter.
So since it would be rare for people to have spices or not to have money, like only the noble houses, only the royalty are going to be spicing their food. But it's okay. We know of pepper, we know of salt. Like they know basics. They don't know seasoning.
What about mushrooms?
They're probably doing some shit with mushrooms, but like she's just putting these bags in and pulling out like seasoned and cooked steaks with gravy and potatoes, fresh fish, and everybody's hesitant about the fish because what Mitsuha doesn't realize is the closest port where you would get fresh fish, especially ocean fish, is a minimum of 7 days away.
10
and
days,
that's if you push the horse until the point of it dying, put a fresh horse on, and push that horse until it dies, put a fresh horse on. Like, this is riding 24/7 until your horse dies on its feet, and then you put another horse in its place, and do the same thing over again. And it would still take almost a week.
No. It's 10 days ride.
Oh,
just
10 days
normal
ride.
And then 3 days if it were just continuous.
Yeah. But still, that's a long time. And usually, even for the 3-day ride, you'd have to heavily salt and oil fish so it doesn't rot on the way. Or you have to boil it to the point that it's British.
I like that one.
I mean, how do we describe British cooking? Boiled until it's a grey, tasteless mush. Kind of like every dish from Scotland. Yeah, that's right, Scotland. I said it. Your food is shit. The only good thing you have that has flavor is haggis, and that tastes like crap, too.
Dude, Scottish eggs.
Scotch eggs are not Scottish. They're just Scotch eggs.
Fine. I tried.
I mean, if they're Scottish, then okay. I will apologize for that one. Not all of your food is shit, Scotland. You know how to wrap balls of meat and bacon and breading and fry them, make them awesome.
Also lamb. They also have some good lamb dishes.
Yeah, but the only reason they make lamb is because they have leftover chunks after digging out the bladder and lungs to make haggis.
I thought the haggis was the stomach.
The bladder, stomach, internal organs all scooped out and shoved into another organ and then boiled until it becomes gray.
Anybody for tripe tacos?
No.
They're good.
No.
They are.
Okay.
Back to the story.
No. I mean, tripe. Menudo. You know how bad menudo is? It failed Ricky Martin.
Okay, moving on.
She don't bang.
More like he don't bang her.
I mean, ever. Like, it's Ricky Martin.
Moving on. Oh, right. Everybody thought she was a witch. Silence. Shut up. Everybody thought in the story that she was a witch. They were like, okay, this is amazing. It tastes great. But they're like...
Oh, yeah, the one girl points out, is it just me or she's been taking all of these meals out of the same pot? Why would you point that out? Shut up! Like, we were trying to ignore that fact.
Like, I was scared this was going to turn into a freaking witch hunt situation. Like, she's a witch. Kill her.
It kind of was. Like, everyone's just slightly scared of her. And they're like, but the food's good. But she's a witch. But it's good. Ooh, it does bring up another thing of why. It's part of why the girls were so hesitant. Like, oh, this is a store? It's something we noticed at the audience, but I didn't notice it until they pointed it out again at the end of the show. There's no sign on her shop. That's why she didn't get hardly any customers, and when she did get customers, it was amazing. Like, she had no sign on the outside. And it's not until like episode 11 or 12 when somebody points out, we thought this might be your shop, but you don't have a sign, so we weren't sure. It's like, oh, that's why I never get customers.
That's something I don't get. This girl's meticulous as hell. She knows economics. She goes to get self-defense. She understands the language. She studies like medieval society on Earth in order to understand their medieval society and shit. Like, but she forgets the fucking sign. Advertising. Advertising. Marketing.
Like, she literally airhead moment. Just most basic thing, because she does a really good kind of grassroots door to door on the ground. Hey, come try it at my new store. Hey, come try it at my new store. Where she's literally going door to door, handing out free sample shit of like, oh, these face towels are so nice and soft, aren't they? It's like, oh yeah, they're amazing. I sell them at my store, but she doesn't say the name of the store. She never says where it is, except it's in the neighborhood. And then she doesn't have a sign on the store other than an open and close sign on the door itself.
Oh, also, the paper she printed everything on was modern paper. Everybody's like, how the fuck did she do this? It's so freaking thin. This must have cost a fortune.
It's so light. Look how white it is. Like, but no. Is she a noble? Where did this come from?
And again, this is paper. Back in those days, it was parchment. And even then, only rich people owned it. That's why nobody had books.
And it would have been linen, and it would have been rough as shit. If it was actually like papyrus style, it still would have been rough as shit. And even the smooth paper was smooth, but it was thick. Like, a stack of papers had some weight to it back in the day. And there'd only be like 10, 15 pages versus like 20 or 30 pages back then would have the same weight and thickness as a 500-page ream that we use now for our printers.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that linen paper had some fucking heft to it.
She thick, boy. She thick.
But it was also a bitch to tear and rip. That's why so much of it actually did survive. Like, it's not like, it's not getting destroyed because it's getting ripped. It's getting destroyed because the linen is drying out and it's literally turning to dust.
Or rotting.
Molding, things like that. But, like, most of it is not getting ripped and torn and that. It's just dissolving. versus our modern paper, which would all rip and crumble and fade to nothingness.
By the way, her lies are...
What?
Go ahead.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was saying, by the way, her lies are all over the place. First, she told Colette that her family that, yeah, my friends went from a long country long ago, and then I got lost, and they left without me. Then she tells the family, I used to be a noble, and then I came here because of scandal. And then other people, oh no, I'm just a humble shop owner. I just have connections and shit.
Well, like,
business.
She keeps up the story of her being from another country, and she even keeps up the general story of she used to be a noble. But, yeah.
Kind of here or there.
It's here and there. Like, if people specifically ask, like, she's really good at don't give people details unless they ask for details. Because that's how you fuck up your lies.
You have to make it as close to the truth. You know what? I'm not teaching people to lie.
A proper lie has some truth to it, but it's missing details. The more detailed you make your lie, the easier it is to fact check. A good example is everything Donald Trump ever said in his entire life can easily be fact-checked because he likes to talk for hours on end. And then, oh, no, he lied. He was wrong. Like, that's absolutely wrong. Versus Joe Biden, who also lies like a snake, but it's hard to fact-check him to prove him wrong because he doesn't say anything of consequence and there's no details. It's a rambling mess of incoherency. But I can't tell you he's wrong. I have no idea what the fuck he said.
Moving on.
There's no actual political affiliation for our podcast. We legitimately vote for whoever we personally feel is the best candidate for the job, or at the very least, the lesser of the two evils, since we live in a country with 90 political parties that we're only allowed to vote for one of two.
Why did you say 90?
Because there are 90 plus political parties in the United States.
But that includes the neo-Nazis.
Yeah, it also includes like 4 different forms of communism that literally have the word communist in its name.
Okay, the commune people don't count. They just want to fuck for free. Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. No. Specifically, after a while, she meets the head chef of the household of the 3 young ladies. I think his name was Marcellus or Marcel?
Marcel.
Like Marcel. And he's like, I'd like to know...
Marcel Wallace.
What?
It's Marcel Wallace.
Why does that sound familiar?
When he takes the lid off of a pot, it glows gold. Pulp Fiction?
Fuck it, I don't know it.
That's Mia's boyfriend.
Dude, I watched Pulp Fiction when I was like 5.
Okay, he's the big boss that hired Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson to go kill the one guy and get the suitcase.
Yeah.
We never meet Marcel Wallace.
Yeah,
it's Marcel Wallace. Could they even make the joke of when he finally gets the recipe right, he takes the pot, the lid off. You don't see what meal he prepared. It's just the golden glow coming out of the pot. And it's perfect. What the fuck did he cook? What's in the briefcase?
Moving on.
Oh, by the way, this show is full of pop culture references that are really hard to get. Obviously, these people were fans of 90s fucking movies because there's a lot of early to mid 90s references.
Speaking of, we should do Die Hard.
We should. We should do all of the Die Hards. Oh.
Including the new ones.
Yeah, I set myself up for failure in that one.
Yep.
Like, can we stop at 4? Do we have to do all 5?
There's 6, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
Can we stop at 4?
We'll stop at 6.
Oh, God damn it. I mean, okay. 6 was better than 5, at least.
True. Fine.
Oh, wait. Was 5 the one in Russia or 6?
I thought 6 was the one in Russia.
Okay, whichever fucking one is when they go to Chernobyl. That one was bad. I mean, that's the worst.
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe there are 5. I thought there were 6.
That might be 6.
Moving on. Okay, back to the series. Like one specific part. Mention the part you wanted to.
Okay. So, towards the end of episode 3, she is talking, and she gives out this pocket knife that she has, this folding knife, and she gives it to the one youngest son who's willing to buy it from her, and he gives her a gold coin for it. That's when she realized, oh, I can make a lot of money with this. So then the oldest son goes, oh, I want something. Is there anything else you have that you could sell? Like, I'll buy something from you. She's like, oh, unfortunately, when my friends left me, like, they have all my luggage. All I have is the change of underwear I have from when I put on this dress. He's like, I'll take them. And she goes, 5 silver coins. And like the youngest son, who's like 10.
No, he's like 13, 14.
No, because he's younger than the sister who is 13.
He is? I thought he was.
No, he's below her in age.
He's got to be at least 11. He doesn't look 10.
11. Well, I mean, the 13-year-old doesn't look like she's 13 either.
Except for height, but fine.
But he goes, I will give you 1 gold coin.
And the entire time you can see the parents like completely and utterly uncomfortable.
They're uncomfortable, but they're doing nothing to stop this. Like, even the sister's like, oh, you're being embarrassing. Like, she's not like, that's rude. She's like, don't talk about it at the dinner table. Like, nobody's offended that they're trying to buy her dirty panties. They're offended that they're doing it at the dinner table.
Is this proof that an OnlyFans model is born every minute?
Pretty much.
No.
Judging since the average age of them is 19, they're born about once a minute. What was 19 years ago? 2022?
What the, okay, that math does not check us out unless...
What, 2002?
You said 22, not 2002.
Yeah, you know what I meant, though.
Did I, though? Did I really?
Probably.
Catholic.
I mean... I have moved a couple of times in the last year.
Moving on.
But the reason we bring that up is there's a later episode where Mitsuha goes hunting with a local group of mercenaries and trying to sell them camping gear and things like that. And at one point, she pops out of her tent wearing a modern bikini. And everyone is like, you can't, why are you naked? No, no, you're only in your undergarments. She's like, but it's a swimsuit. No, you can't go out like that. So she pops into her world and gets a little swimsuit magazine, Gravure magazine.
Yes, Gravure.
And she brings it back and well, see, this is what I'm saying. I did nothing wrong. In my country, this is swimwear. This is what it's normal. You could go out to public beaches and swim at lakes and things like that. And people do this all the time, even in public. And they're still like, yeah, no, but you can't do that here. They're like, okay, I won't do it again. And the one guy who's basically the perv of the group goes, how much for the book? And her and one of the other mercenaries, who's also a female, they both yell at him, like, not on your life, and they slam a plate in his face.
No,
but
to be fair.
I like the kind of dichotomy of a few months ago, she sold her panties to a child, her dirty panties, but she won't sell a swimsuit magazine that is roughly the equivalent of the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
To an adult.
Different cultures? I don't know.
Maybe she's the Catholic. Corrupting the youth.
I hope not, but to be fair.
Raising a future priest there.
To be fair, the older adventurer dude, when he saw her in her bikini, he also had the blood spurting out of his nose, the cliche.
He did, but I think he was also the first one to throw like a blanket at her before the two girls got to her.
True. Okay,
like,
yeah,
he
you're
turned
right.
his back, but it like threw his cloak at her while he's turning away. Like, he was trying not to look, but he's also like, wow, damn, she's got tits. I thought she was a kid.
Wait. Then, were they sexualizing a minor?
I mean, not technically.
Not technically.
I mean, she's old enough to have graduated from high school, so even by Japanese standards, technically not a minor, just not quite an adult. Kind of like here in the U.S., how at 18, you're technically an adult, except you can't do any of the adult things because they're all 21 and over. So you're not actually an adult until you're 21, because the only thing you can do at 18 is vote and die, because you can become a soldier at 18.
But even now, the Republicans, like legit Republicans, are trying to actually take that away from Gen Z.
Yeah, they're trying to make the voting age 21. So it's like, yeah.
Actually, I saw 24.
Yeah, because they're realizing that if we let kids vote, they're going to get rid of all the old people instead of just letting them slowly die off and get replaced by other geriatrics. Like, term limits would be nice in American politics for all political offices, but realistically, we need age limits. We have a minimum age requirement. We should have a maximum age requirement. And it should be under fucking 50.
Somewhere under Trump. Yeah, under Biden.
He's in his Trump's in his mid-70s. Biden's in his early to mid-80s.
Say no to both.
Yes, like, a good example is we have a senator who has been in office so long. Like, he's literally been in office since the Korean War. He has been a senator, a sitting congressman. He's been a sitting congressman since 1953.
So not even since Vietnam, since the Korean War.
Since the Korean War. He is so old. He has great grandchildren who are voting age now. No, he has 4 generations of his own family who are voting age adults.
Now see here, vote for Grandpa, or vote for great Grandpappy.
Yeah.
Jesus, no. Jesus.
I think if you're old enough to be a great grandparent, you're too fucking old to run for public office. Assuming, of course, all your kids don't have kids until they're at least 21.
No.
Don't have kids until you're in college, kids. Until after college.
I was going to say, after college would probably be best. You have your
better
best
yet,
earning
don't
power.
have kids. We need at least one more full generation of stop fucking. I mean, the birth rate's going down in this country, but we still got a whole lot of poor people fucking, and a lot of rich people saying you're not allowed to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And, it's causing all kinds of issues. Like, that's a discussion for another time. Or we could have the discussion right now, because we like having weird discussions in the middle of other shit.
Can we leave this shit to Malthus, please?
I guess we could.
Thank you. If you don't get that reference, look it up. Malthus. Or read Brave New World.
That's a scary book.
They're all scary books. Legit.
They are. There's so many fucking words.
Fuck
words
you.
Words are hard.
Fuck you. No, okay.
I love you, buddy, but not that much.
I hate you. Look, seriously. These books are important because they tell you about how the world works and is. Legit. We're in 1984, unfortunately.
Look at any book that's on the banned book list. Go find that book and read it. If it's being banned, it's because it's actually worth reading.
Yes.
It's probably the most important thing you can read. Do not let them silence history.
Also, they should probably ban the Bible.
Utah did.
Okay.
Their book ban was so encompassing and so vaguely written. A parent group actually petitioned that, well, by the wording of the book banning law, the Bible is even more obscene than most of the books on the list. Therefore, it should be number 1 on the list. And it fucking passed.
Damn,
so they
nice.
they had to ban the Bible. So, haha. Christians tried to take over and then they fucked themselves because they forgot that the Bible was full of incest and rape.
Same thing happened in
and bestiality.
Oh, fuck, the donkeys. You're right.
Yeah. The whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also the illustrations that are in most Bibles.
No comment on the illustrations. No comment.
I mean, you got the Adam and Eve ones. Like, Fig Leaf doesn't cover a whole lot.
Back to the story. Okay, so we have Mitsuha. Oh, jeez. She basically is ordered by Marcel's family after giving them a taste of her food to use this food in the presentation of their daughter, who is 15 and will be...
she's having her debutante ball.
That's it. Thank you. I forgot that fucking word. Debutante.
Debutante. Anyways. Coming out. Quinceañera. It's all the same shit.
Whatever. Point is, they need to make it extravagant or look good because they're a minor noble family, but at the same time, if they make it look good, then they gain respect, prestige, all that jazz.
Yeah, so she goes all out.
She has dry ice, she has an entire story, quick changes, lights, like so much modern shit, I swear. Those photovoltaic cells would not have lasted.
No, like, she took the daughter who's, I'm going to say quinceañera. It's weirdly easier to say than debutante.
True.
So the girl who's quinceañera, it is, she takes her to the modern world to a dressmaker / cosplay artist who makes her these costumes and dresses. I love that they're flipping through the designs and the ideas. Like, you're going to include all the props for this one, right? It turns out that it's a suit of armor with a sword. It's awesome. Dry eyes, a projector, or a drone. What else was it? She rigs an entire PA system inside this ballroom.
And it's all a part of her business. What did she call it? Like consulting or some shit?
It's Minahall General Store Minaha and consulting.
That's it. Right. And she gets paid a lot of money for it, like 200 something gold coins.
Yeah, I think like 250 gold coins for the party, and even after, like, she takes out the fees and stuff that she needed to go get stuff, she still makes like a little over 100 some odd gold coins. Like most of the shit she's doing ends up technically running her into the black or into the negatives. Like, she never loses money outright, but she definitely does not make as much money as she thinks. Especially when she starts getting the mercenaries from the modern world involved and the mercenaries from the fantasy world involved, because she has to pay them for their time. So it's like, oh cool, so I earned 500 gold today, minus fees and paying the mercenaries. I made 120.
So about a little over a 20% return. Not bad. Not great, but not bad.
Not bad, but especially when you consider, like, it's a mercenary band of 4 in the fantasy world. Like, it cost her that much to pay for 2 of them for a week.
True.
Like, it's like 100 gold each to get the 2 of them for a week. The same mercenary band who were, like, when we first see them in the show, they were struggling to figure out how the fuck they can do 1 or 2 missions for like 5 gold to split 4 ways. But then all of a sudden, oh yeah, no, we owe them like 60 gold a day.
God damn. Now, okay, to finish this off, just because we are running over time, specifically, that final battle. That battle was fucking amazing.
It was. I love their little references. They've got a fucking half track, a World War II era half track that has a 20mm autocannon anti-air fucking flat gun on it.
Right.
And they're like before they lift the tarp off for it, you get the leader of the modern mercenary group called Wolfang. They're like, which I want to say it's a Dragon Ball Z, it's a Dragon Ball reference, because like he does kind of look like Yamcha when he shaves his head close in late episodes of DBZ.
Okay, yeah.
So he kind of looks like older Yamcha, so it's like the Wolfang fist. But like he keeps saying this whole time to prepare for battle, yeah, don't worry, we've got God on our side. We've got but God is going to shine brightly on our battle. Like God he's the greatest instrument to help us in our war. That be faithful to God. Yeah, they named the half track God.
That was so fucking weird.
Because of the numbers that are painted on the side of it, because it's an old weapon system. I think it's a 608, but they're all faded, so it looks like it says God.
Okay.
So yeah, so like, oh yeah, so we're gonna let God's light shine down on you, and fucking starts ripping out this autocannon.
Not just that, the fact that she gave an entire speech that she memorized from something else. I honestly didn't get the reference, but she was like, I can't believe I used it. Finally. It just, like, in her head, like, little, like, geek-gasm, almost.
Yeah, like, every time she has her moments of, I finally got to do the thing, she has these little, like, super, I can't believe I did it. There's the wonderful reference, which I love, it's her outfit. Her outfit for the battle. And they start calling her their goddess of war, the townsfolk, after the messenger of lightning. It's Mother Teresa's outfit.
No.
She's got the habit, but it's hung off to the side and to the straight back. That's what the ribbon is. It's covering half her hair. It's the white full dress, but has blue trim at the bottom and on all the sleeves, but only at the end of the sleeves.
I really
the
hope
dress
that's not
she's
true.
wearing looks like Mother Teresa after she became like the head of that one mission.
Yeah, I know. The
Mother
Sisters of
Teresa we
Mercy
all know when you envision Mother Teresa.
Yes, I get it, but still, no, that ain't right.
Who was also a ruthless, militant woman before finding God. I wonder if the God she found was also a 20mm cannon.
Moving on. God damn it. That hurt me. That actually hurt me. Ow.
Hey,
ow.
She's a saint.
We'll talk about that. Look, okay.
Hey, it took 15 years after her death, but she did get sainted.
Okay, people, look up the controversy of Mother Teresa of Calcutta. You'll know why I'm not comfortable, but we'll move on.
Look up the controversy of, I think St. Francisco. Literally the guy who founded San Francisco. He did so much worse things, and they fucking sainted him while he was still alive.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look
Mother
up
Teresa is arguably a much better person. She didn't commit genocide.
That's arguable. Arguable.
Okay, she didn't rape people.
Yeah, fine.
So, better person.
I'm not a rapist. Date me. No.
I'm not a rapist, therefore I'm better than all Catholics. Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
a Catholic. I haven't raped anybody.
Yet.
Fuck you.
To be fair, you did not complete seminary school, so you didn't finish the indoctrination process.
Moving on. Look. Ladies and gentlemen, this series is fun. It's cutesy. It's weird. Also, they keep racking on her age, but they never rack on her rack. It's weird. Usually,
hey,
in
flat
Japanese
is justice.
What?
Flat is justice.
I don't disagree. But, no, seriously. Like, the amount of jokes they do about her age, it's awesome. But at the same time, you would think, again, Japanese, that they would do something about her rack. They don't.
Yeah, they have like one reference in like episode 3, and I think another one in like episode 5, where she's looking at the 13-year-old. I'm like, really though? She's 13.
Like somebody else mentioned, like you don't look older than that. I don't believe you. Like, and specifically mentioned like looked her up and down. Like,
yeah, like, there are a few times where they're like, "Oh, you're just a little girl." Yeah, I'm an adult. And like she says this out loud, and like people just ignore it. Like, it's the thing is she does it in this flat tone, which in most of the show you get as that's her inner monologue, but every now and then she actually says these things. And this one episode, there's this entire scene where it's like, "Oh, hey, little girl, I'm an adult. So, where's your mommy and daddy?" No, seriously, I'm an adult. Can I help you? I mean, do you have an adult I can talk to? I am an adult. It's that flat inner monologue voice that we got used to before that she's saying it out loud, so everyone's just ignoring it.
But also, like one time she's like, "I am an adult. If you're an adult, I'm an old man."
Yeah. Oh, I think that's when she goes to the military base the first time.
Yeah. You're right.
She's like, "If you're an adult, I must be ancient." Well, speaking to like the military base commander for the modern world mercenaries, who's like 40.
All right, I think we're gonna cut it off here. I mean,
yeah,
again, awesome series.
It's a fun anime. It's saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. It's worth watching. It's fun. It's cute. It's only 13 episodes. Yeah, it's not your typical super-powered isekai, but it's fun.
Now, it also has a light novel and manga, so if you want to read those, go for it.
Yeah, like I personally not checked them out. I'm not a huge manga reader. Like I have nothing against them. I don't have the time. I'd rather just watch the animated versions. And I know most people would argue that in most cases manga is better, but meh.
All right, everybody. This has been ZeroPoint Energy. Have a good night. Say your prayers. Not really, but you know.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.